You ride into the dusty town. Your horse's hooves kick up clouds of grit that cling to your clothes, your hair, your sweat-soaked skin. In stories, you're a hero. In reality, townsfolk recoil. Eyes water, noses wrinkle. The smell of you, sweat, dried mud, the faint tang of blood from a blister, hangs like a cloud, invisible yet suffocating. Your shirt sticks to your back, stiff with weeks of riding. Wool crusted with earth and livestock clings like a second skin. Every movement scrapes dust deeper into your pores. Soap, water, even a bath in the river. None of it lifts the grime. You finally stumble into the river. The water is thick with mud, cattle waste, and remnants of men who came before. You scrub with rough lye soap. Your skin flares red, raw, sticky, defeated. You climb out, dress in the same woolen prison, and feel it pressing against your ribs. Your teeth crunch when you chew. Gums bleed. A twig or rough cloth becomes your toothbrush. Dust, coffee grounds, and yesterday's tobacco mix in your mouth. Chewing tobacco burns, coppery and acrid, your breath a weapon. You step into the saloon. Floors layered with sawdust soaked in spittle, beer and mud greet every step. Disease hides in plain sight. Night falls. The bunkhouse swallows you whole. 20 men in one room, air thick with sweat, smoke and flatulence. Straw-filled mattresses bristle with bedbugs and fleas. You curl next to another man for warmth, sharing lice, sweat and misery. Sleep arrives reluctantly, accompanied by groans of the exhausted and defeated. Even here, absurdity flickers. The heroic cowboy of song is a ghost. You scratch, stumble, drink bad water, bleed from neglected teeth, and yet rise again. Every day is a negotiation with filth, heat, cold, and the quiet cruelty of survival. You laugh bitterly, a small rebellion. When dawn comes, dust in your hair, sores crusted with dirt, lice crawling under your hat, you realize heroism is endurance, grim and unforgiving. You pull on your woolen shirt, thick, scratchy, warm with dried sweat. Dust and grit cling like a second skin. Tiny creatures, lice, jokingly called seam squirrels, have made a home in the fibers. You scratch, curse, press against the coarse wool. Relief comes only if the garment is boiled or burned. Your trousers are patched, rotting at the seams. Sitting, standing, walking, every move brings friction, chafing, welts mingling with dust and manure. These clothes know your body intimately. Privacy does not exist here. Every thread, every fiber has claimed a part of you. At night, cold bites through fabric you cannot remove. You huddle with others, pressed together for warmth. Lice, fleas, and invisible pests are your nightly companions. The creak of floorboards, the rustle of straw, and the soft crawl of tiny legs keep you awake. Somewhere, a man groans as he scratches raw. You can't help but laugh bitterly. This is the high frontier, yet it smells of rotting wool, sweat, and desperation. Morning comes. Clothes back on, stiff and heavy. Dust settles in every crease. Seam squirrels return to work, relentless. The wool presses against your ribs. Sun burns your back, lice burrow deeper. You are more armor than flesh, more burden than human. And yet, you move forward, laughing quietly at the absurdity of endurance. You open your mouth. Bitter, metallic tang. Teeth, if they can be called that, are grimy, sharp-edged, gums blackened by tobacco and neglect. A crude brush scrapes enamel more than cleans it. You spit. Dust mixes with saliva. Toothache gnaws slowly, insidious. No dentist. Only pliers in a blacksmith's hand, a rusty bite of metal and pain. You sip whiskey, the burn almost comforting. Chewing tobacco is everywhere. You instinctively grind a dark wad between teeth, tasting nicotine, filth, and dust. Every spit lands on sawdust floors already brown and sticky. Survival is measured in endurance of teeth, stomach, lungs, and will. Hardtack and salt pork fill your meals. Coffee is bitter sludge, strong enough to strip paint. Your senses reel in a symphony of discomfort, grit in gums, nicotine burn, tooth ready to betray you. You wonder if anyone here truly lives, or if you are merely tolerated by the relentless frontier. The sun dips low. Shadows stretch across rough planks and sawdust. Beauty is fiction, hygiene a joke. Endurance is the only currency. You grit your teeth, swallow hard, and move on. You step into the bunkhouse. Air hits you like a thick, warm blanket, heavy with 20 unwashed bodies, dust, sweat, and faint wood smoke. Floorboards groan. Sawdust and spilled beer squelch beneath your boots. Every bunk is pressed against another. Straw tick mattresses sag under men who have sweated, ridden, and scraped the frontier for weeks. Privacy does not exist. Bodies huddle for warmth, pressed close like animals in a pen. Lice and fleas feast while you sleep. Every twitch, scratch, and groan reminds you comfort is a cruel joke. The noises are constant. Shuffle of boots, creak of bunks, snores, coughs, echoing off bare wooden walls. Dried blood, old wounds, and straw pricks remind you that survival here has its price. Blankets are shared, pressed against another man's sweat-soaked back. Warmth and filth are inseparable. The smell is overwhelming, yet familiar. Human persistence blends with rotting wool, old food, and the bitter punch of chewed tobacco. Bedbugs crawl beneath the straw. Every small tickle magnifies in your mind. And yet, a rhythm emerges. Life here has been stripped to warmth, food, shelter, and survival. There is no pretense, only grim determination. You lie down, straw rough against your skin, body next to yours shifting and sighing. The frontier has no mercy, only endurance. You step off your horse into the dust-choked streets of 1875. The first thing you smell: sweat, horse manure, and something fouler still. Women smile politely, men nod with grimy faces, chewing tobacco you can smell from 20 paces. The heroic, clean cowboy of legend is gone. Reality is heavy, sticky, foul, and relentless. The bathhouse, if you can call it that, has brown, lukewarm water, floating grime, and dead lice. Soap stings, leaving skin raw. Clothes feel like prisons, hosting pests and invisible bacteria. Ants crawling across fabric might clean it if desperate, but they bite too. Your mouth is a battlefield. Rotting teeth, bleeding gums. Hardtack and salt pork, your monotonous diet, keep scurvy close. Water is stagnant, filtered only through grit and hope. Every bite, every sip, every breath reminds you survival is earned in discomfort. The bunkhouse swallows you at night. 20 men in a single room, heat thick with unwashed bodies, sweat and tobacco. Bedbugs and fleas feast. You huddle against another man for warmth, feeling every twitch, scratch, and groan. Prairie itch bites beneath damp clothes. Skin bleeds, mud clings, dust settles again. Sleep is a gamble, a negotiation with lice, discomfort, and disease. Dawn arrives dusty, heavy, smelling of yesterday's sweat and tomorrow's worry. You are tired, filthy, alive. The myth of the heroic, clean cowboy evaporates. What remains is grotesque endurance, bitter and relentless. Beauty is fiction. Survival is a grind. The frontier does not forgive. You rise again. Dust in your hair, sores crusted with dirt, lice crawling under your hat, and you move forward because there is no other choice.